The outgoing Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Paula Llewellyn, says her successor should be known by next month.
I understand that the Services Commission, they sent out an advertisement and applications are closed, and I understand that you have had applications, and I would expect that within the next month that they should be doing the interviews. So hopefully by sometime in July, Jamaica should know who their new DPP will be in September, and I can commence the handing over.
Llewellyn is set to retire as the country's first female DPP in September. She was forced to take a leave of absence in June last year following a Supreme Court ruling that ended her term in office. The matter was settled when the Court of Appeal overturned the lower court ruling. Ms. Llewellyn says she's proud to be leaving behind a premier DPP's office.
There are a lot of things that we have put in place, protocols. I'm pleased to have said that I have a Jamaica Prosecutor's Manual and a lot of different things that we have done to outfit the office for the 21st century, which is why I can say, like this autopsy suite here in the Caribbean, I suspect you will have no other like that in the Caribbean. In the same way, the Jamaican DPP entity, we are the premier, and I would say looked up to by everybody else in the Caribbean.
DPP Paula Llewellyn, she was speaking at the recent opening of the new autopsy suite.
The world in a minute. 5 more Trinidad and Tobago nationals have been deported from the United States. That's according to a statement issued on Friday by the U.S. Embassy in Port of Spain. It says embassy personnel collaborated closely with TNT partners to facilitate the arrival of a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement deportation charter flight. The embassy says the deportees, 3 men and 2 women, range from 19 to 57 years old. They all had significant criminal records. One individual previously deported from the U.S. had an outstanding warrant in TNT for robbery. The 5 Trinidadians follow a group of over 20 other nationals who were deported from the U.S. last month.
Iran fired hundreds of ballistic missiles into Israel on Friday. The attack came in response to Israel's unprecedented strikes against Iran yesterday. According to CNN, Iran described the attack as the beginning of its crushing response. Injuries are being reported in Israel, with thousands being directed to bomb shelters. In a statement on Friday, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his country had launched a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat. He says that operation will continue until the threat is removed. Netanyahu, who for decades has raised the alarm about Iran's nuclear program, said he authorized the air assault in an effort to prevent Iran from building nuclear weapons. Iran has long insisted its nuclear program is for civilian purposes only. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iran to make a deal on its nuclear program, warning of an even more brutal Israeli attack.
The leadership of the St. James Police is reporting a significant reduction in murders and shootings in the parish over the past few weeks. Speaking on Thursday at the monthly meeting of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Deputy Superintendent in charge of operations, Leroy Edwards, said the St. James Police have implemented measures targeting gangs, lottery scammers and violence producers in the parish. This has resulted in a 45% reduction in major crimes, the capture of wanted fugitives, and the seizure of millions of dollars from lottery scammers. DSP Edwards says St. James, which was labelled as the murder capital of Jamaica, has recorded only 2 murders over the past 7 weeks. He says Operation Storm, relaunched last month to crack down on criminal activities, has been reaping the required results.
Last week, we had major operations across the parish. We conducted 14 raids, resulting in 8 arrests, 11 vehicles, including iron vehicles, seized. Over $31 million was seized. And other investigations are continuing, and these operations will continue. Also for June, we have recovered 7 firearms. I remember today is the 12th of June, right? 102 rounds of ammunition. We are well trained, well equipped, and highly motivated to take on these criminals. And we don't intend to see Montego Bay going back to the days of bloodletting and bloodshedding across the parish.
Head of Operations in the St. James Police Division, DSP Leroy Edwards. St. James has so far recorded 23 murders this year when compared with 73 over the similar period last year, a 63% reduction. There has also been a significant reduction in shootings. Meanwhile, DSP Edwards says the St. James Police are prepared to ease restrictions in volatile communities in the parish in order to allow for the resumption of nightlife and entertainment events.
And as Barry Salmon would say in one of his most popular songs, no shots are firing and no blood is running. I believe, and Councillor Charles Sinclair can support me on this, that the community should benefit in terms of party permits. Flankers, they have organized themselves and approached the police, and we have facilitated them as it relates to party permits. Because I believe that we need to give back to the communities. So I want to encourage all the communities to ensure, I want to encourage all the communities to come together, and form this bond and partnership with us so we can rid the communities of these gangsters and ensure that commerce and nightlife entertainment continues.
Deputy Superintendent in charge of operations in St. James, Leroy Edwards. One of the 42 Haitians who landed at Ross Craig, Long Bay, Portland on May 18 and were returned on May 20 tested positive for malaria. This was disclosed by the Medical Office of Health for Portland, Dr. Sharon Lewis, at yesterday's Municipal Corporation monthly meeting of the Portland Municipal Corporation, who issued a warning to the public about harboring illegal migrants. Dr. Lewis says the Haitians are processed at the Port Antonio Hospital, where health checks were conducted. He says the positive result for malaria in an adult male was returned 2 days after he was repatriated. Dr. Lewis says the man displayed no symptoms of the virus.
I wish to use this opportunity to remind the public that malaria in a person from a country where the disease is endemic often presents with mild symptoms, and as in that case of that man, it may present with no symptoms. In this case, the male had no symptoms. That is why we warn our citizens to alert the police and the health team when persons who are not Jamaicans arrive by boat on our shores without going through the official ports. These persons should be assessed immediately after their arrival so that we can take the necessary public health measures to protect our citizens from the possible introduction or reintroduction of infectious diseases to our country.
Medical Officer of Health for Portland, Dr. Sharon Lewis. Dr. Lewis says the vector control team promptly destroyed the boat in which the Haitians arrived and conducted fogging in the landing area to reduce the spread of any other viral diseases that members of the group may have had. A sex offender who was deported to Jamaica from the United States yesterday was charged under the Sexual Offences Act on his arrival at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston. 28-year-old Sanjay Walsh, also called Siki, was wanted by the St. Mary Police for multiple counts of sexual intercourse with a person under the age of 16. He was met by the police at the airport who executed a warrant of arrest. The charges stem from incidents that occurred between November 2017 and January 2018 in Highgate involving a then 15-year-old girl. The complainant, now 23 years old, reported that she met Walsh in 2016 and developed a relationship with him. It is alleged that they engaged in sexual intercourse on multiple occasions during the stated period. A formal report was made to the police, resulting in a warrant being issued for Walsh's arrest. In June 2023, a Connecticut court convicted Walsh for sexually assaulting 2 children and tampering with evidence. He served a sentence of 21 months, which was shortened from the original 10 years he received. The court also required Walsh to register as a sex offender for 10 years following his release. He was arrested by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency in December last year.